Interview number 2. Today we're with Nate Hamilton, 144 Print House, and come check it out. So today, on our journey of meeting more rad, creative people, I'm very stoked to introduce y'all to my friend Nate Hamilton. And Nate, what do you do?
Man, I feel like I'm a creative at heart.
Yeah?
That got into screen printing at a young age, that got into drifting and motorsports at a young age. And over the course of the last 15 years, I've just been head down and doing that exact same thing of creating and drifting. So I would say I'm just a creative here in Denton and excited to hang out with you.
Absolutely. Well, welcome. And so, I mean, you hit on a lot, but really when I met you, you were a regular at West Oak.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of introduced to the idea of you were a drifter. And to be very honest, I didn't know even what that meant in the beginning. But that's how I kind of was introduced to you. And then I realized later on, oh my gosh, this guy is doing incredible stuff, like as far as print and design and the creative side.
Yep.
But when I met you, I was kind of as a drifter. So what is drifting? What is that?
Yeah, I mean, drifting is a motorsport that's about going on 20 years old right now. So
Okay.
it's very much like a judged motorsport where there's line, angle, and style. There's 2 cars that battle head to head. Top 32 bracket turns to 16 to 8 to 4 to the finals. And so it's an action sport for the youth.
And how long have you been doing that?
Man, I've got trophies from like 2010, 2009, so definitely been at it for quite some time.
And so, as I understand, in the industry, you're kind of one of the old heads now that was helping bring the sport along a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things when I was younger was like, putting a livery on a car and designing and kind of just implementing some style into the motorsport. And I had a video project that really helped me become known, if you will, at a young age. So I remember being a skateboarder. I remember at the skate park, there was a dirt patch and the boys started like kind of really just throwing cars around in the dirt. And we really didn't know what we were doing, nor were we looking up to a sport at the time.
Okay.
So really it was just this skateboarder mentality. It would rain. We started taking our cars out with 2 cones and learning how to do a donut. And really my first competition I was almost forced or invited to go to. And then it turned out I qualified first and I finished 4th. And I realized like, man, I have to do this. So I always say like drifting chose me, and it wasn't like I sought out to become a professional drifter.
Right.
I was just a dude screen printing butterflies and rainbows that was able to then move on to take my car out on the weekends, and it unfolded into this really cool career.
So we'll get into the screen printing and all that, but just to stick to the cars for a second. So you're just already kind of living an active lifestyle, looking for adventure, fun, whatever it may be, that adrenaline rush, if you will.
Yep.
And then that just kind of organically went into, what's up, bud? Who's that?
That's my son, Indy.
But that, I mean, it organically turned into what can we do with these cars and kind of get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah. I mean, it was very organic, man. It really was something that wasn't a career path. It wasn't something that we thought would turn into the business etiquette and the marketing value that we learned.
Sure.
It was just, we were out there trying to slide a car around, and it turned out that it really unfolded into this bigger project.
That's awesome. And so when you look at your car now, we've got one behind us, it's almost like you can see all the creativity that you have coming out in what you do. And this is like kind of a good manifestation of it, because I mean, technically speaking, you can just have a car, right? It doesn't have to have anything on it.
Right.
But everything that you do has such incredible style. So have you always been kind of into design and style and all that?
Yeah, I think so. I think just like something when I was younger, like, a few of my mentors would explain to me that there really weren't like full wrapped liveries or like full thought into the branding of the car, you know, in 2010, right?
Yeah.
So like when we rolled out one of our first 5 and a dime out of San Diego collabs was like the idea of this skateboard splashed onto the car. We had like a grip tape aesthetic on a car. It was so fun.
That
And
is all.
we didn't really even know what we were doing at the time. We were just, I wasn't studying the industry. I was following my heart. And it turns out that we just set some trends and some styles that was really progressive at that time, backed by, like I was explaining, some video work, and just, it all worked out, man. It was just so cool.
Well, I think that's the story, right? That's the story of like, okay, we're ripping around on some dirt, it gets wet, I've got 2 cones, I'm in a qualifier, and then the story just starts to write itself. But the interesting thing is just how you decided to get in that, you know what I mean? And so you were screen printing, was that your job at the time?
Yep, I was a pressman, so really I just...
For your own brand or just?
For a different business.
Okay.
Yeah, just for an opportunity, and it was just Monday through Thursday. If I cleared my plate, I could have that Friday off. I would load my car up on a trailer, go out to a local Mineral Wells Lone Star Drift event.
I've heard about that a lot.
You know, so it was just more of just, I had a, you know, at a young age, I wanted to have a job that I didn't wear a suit and I didn't have to clock into like a 9 to 5, right? So the idea was I was a skateboarder that wanted to keep creating.
Okay.
And the screen printing package allowed that.
Okay.
And I just didn't know what that would turn into, but it turned into me understanding how to decorate and create t-shirts. And then as I became a drifter, I realized the market of drifting was available and needed that resource.
Yeah.
And then I thought I could become that.
Yeah.
So I would screen print for all my friends and like ship them shirts, and suddenly it was like Nate was the t-shirt guy that was a pro drifter, you know?
So that was my question. So through that process, you're already, you know, making stuff. So did you start creating like, I guess, organic material for your friends and stuff and for their cars? Like, were you doing design work at that time as well, or?
Yeah, I didn't have the infrastructure that we have here with like
Right.
in-house designers and screen printing and everything, but yeah, I definitely just basically I would design my own merch.
Okay.
So I would design like the Hamilton jersey and the Hamilton livery, and I kind of just did the whole process for myself. And then as I reached an older age, I realized like it'd be really cool to do this for you.
Yeah.
Right? So then I would take everything I learned from those perspectives and I would offer it to other athletes, and I just realized how big of a market there was for that.
Well, and it's because I think you're able to give personality and style to the brand, to the car, to the person. And that's what I think makes it so unique, very attractive, honestly.
Yeah, I think the confidence of the delivery is important. Like, you know, designing something for you and explaining to you why and how gives the athlete confidence. Where I think that sets 144 apart. Like, our designers are literally skateboarders and drifters. So like, we're kind of not just a corporate print shop that is trying to relate. We're literally in the market. And
You're in the sport, you're in the life.
we're avid quad shot, vanilla, like, you know what I mean? We're avid like coffee drinkers that drift, skate, create. It's fun, man.
Well, I mean,
That almost rhymed too.
turn it into a freestyle out of the blue. I'm out though, I can't do that, there's no way. But when I walked into this shop the first time, I mean, I was literally overwhelmed. I had no expectations. We were coming in to do some design work for our merch. And immediately I knew like, okay, this is the spot, because creativity, it just permeates from everything in this. It's like you have a car, but the car looks a certain way. Even this entire space, it's so intentional. And it's interesting because if you were reverse engineer everything, you're printing shirts, you're on a dirt track, and it's just this natural progression that you can see now. We're actually in his space, so it's kind of cool, the things you get to hear. But it's this natural progression of you as a creative, and then just your journey and it manifesting, your creativity manifesting in the things that you're putting your hands to. And I think it's really inspirational.
Yeah.
But it's also cool because you're able to turn it into how you take care of your family and how you live.
Yeah, and I mean, similar to West Oak or, you know, your projects as well, it's like, it's all a reflection of what we're creating, right? So if you come into a clean space, if you come into a, you know, styled out aesthetic, like you feel the value of that for when we print your merch,
Yeah.
it's taken care of in the same way. You know what I
You're
mean?
creating an entire fully realized experience for
Right.
whoever you're working with.
Right.
And I think it's so cool that you were able to take it to people like us and other industries and print for other people
Yeah.
and have that creative outlet for them. I mean, we designed some stuff with you on our last run, and I mean, it's by far the most creative, fun merch we've ever done, and obviously going to continue to make more. But
Yeah.
what I'm curious about is, are you a creative or are you an athlete? How do you feel? Like,
It depends on the year. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like, my 2025 was very flat out. You know, sometimes opportunities fall in my lap that are amazing for Nate the athlete,
right?
that may hurt Nate the business operator.
Yeah.
And so my career has always ebbed and flowed. Like, there's been a ton of racing seasons. There's been a ton of like lack of racing and more business. I would say I'm an athlete first because I never felt that I wasn't born in business. I wasn't born to
Yeah.
operate a business.
Yeah.
I felt that the racing came way more natural. Like
Yeah.
me jumping in a car feels way more natural than a tough business meeting, let's say.
Yeah. Yep.
But I started a business out of necessity. I really wanted to have ownership and take ownership and treat people properly and make those hard decisions. Some of our coolest memories in business were, let's say, messing up a $30,000 order and replacing it
Yep.
out of the honor of the project. And
Right.
so being able to kind of have ownership of how the brand operates is now my like mental stability.
Right.
Because I know if I mess something up, I can fix it. And the racing is now more or less taking a back seat just
Right.
because, you know, the industry's tough and
Yeah.
the sponsorship stuff has to make sense. And there's a lot of demand when you pick up a sponsor. You're essentially working for someone in that light.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
just trying to sign myself up for what I know I can manage, and
Yeah.
raising the team here and operating everything is 5 full-time jobs.
Well, and that's the thing, as an entrepreneur, I mean, which is what you are. You know, you're an athlete, you're a creative, but you're an entrepreneur. And so, you know, that's the hard part of it, is like you're constantly hustling. It brings all the opportunity of freedom and things that we like about it.
Yep.
But I mean, it is challenging. And so, I mean, how do you manage that stress, that thing that comes along when you know, oh man, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to be a dad. Like,
Yeah.
how do you manage that?
Yeah, good question. I think every year feels a bit like stretching, right? Where as a business owner, it's beautiful because you have a ton of freedom, but also you have a ton of responsibility.
Yeah.
And some years that feels super light and you're floating, and some years that feels super heavy and you're drowning. And I think that all of it teaches you, right? So throughout the tough times, I just have to remember that these are beautiful problems that I have signed myself up for.
Right.
So as the weight adds on my shoulders, I just get to kind of walk steady and know that it's something that I've created, this problem,
Yeah.
or this thing I'm going through.
This
Not
challenge,
even a problem,
yeah.
but it's this challenge.
Right.
And new projects are like stretching, and they bring challenges and they bring weight to the team.
Yeah.
And ultimately that turns into more sales and more marketing, and that's the goal. So
Right.
even as I picked up new projects as of recently, it's more or less like, wow, I'm gonna really go do this thing.
Yeah.
And it turned into meeting new people and new sales, and the inbox is lit up. And so kind of like doing the scary thing has always worked.
Being bold, and that's what it takes, honestly. And interesting, we were just talking before we sat down, and you just got back from Michigan, and it's the first big event you went to where you didn't run a car.
Yep.
And so it was, from what it sounds like, a wildly successful thing. But now you find yourself in kind of a new space. How do you like transition like that?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm trying to work on just building processes so I can experience what needs to be done and then build a proper team for that. You know, it's almost like we're turning into a solutions group, right? So short of printing all the merch and knowing how to operate all the merch, there was a festival that asked us to join and become a solution group to the sales side of
Right,
the merchandise.
right.
So I was able to experience that firsthand, and it was so cool because it just taught me there's a whole nother service that's needed.
Right.
So my brain's just spinning on, you know, this division of the business that can be built. And as you know, that's like exciting for us. So
Definitely. Well, it's just this natural progression, and it's interesting because your whole journey is just the next step. And the cool thing is you have no idea what that next step is going to be,
Right.
but you're saying yes to things, and you're living really boldly. And That's really the encouragement, that we're trying to do is connect with people, tell their stories a little bit, highlight their brands, because your brand is insane. What you do in the car and then what you create for people, and I think moreover how you do that. The way that you and Megan carry yourselves as humans is just something really to be celebrated.
Yeah.
You can do the hard thing,
Yeah.
and you can be creative, and you can push boundaries, and you can do all that while...
Yeah, and like for everyone watching this, right? Like if you guys are watching this and you're relating more to coffee than you are motorsports, I think the creative process is the point of this story here.
Exactly.
And the idea is that I just try my best to take day by day, month by month, year by year. And so as you're creating whatever you're creating, I just realized that the time is on our side.
That's right.
We're still young. We're just day by day building it up. And that really will allow you to feel that you have the runway to get where you want. Like people would ask me like, how do I become a pro drifter? And it's like, don't try, right?
Yeah.
Go drifting, build a slow and steady program.
Right.
Don't try to be a rock star overnight, right? So whether you're starting a design team in Denton or wherever you're watching this, like
Right.
every day just do something to get you closer and closer to your goal without an expectation of next year I'm gonna have this whole thing
That's
done.
right.
You gotta take your time.
And that's an incredible word, because the thing of it is like I was actually talking to Megan like right before we sat down, and it's like we live in this very immediate world
Yeah.
where we want instant gratification. At least it feels that way. That's what we're being told. And I keep hearing and learning, like that's why we're doing this, that isn't actually what people want.
Right.
And so you can't trust anything. You may go viral in a minute, but you turn around 2 weeks later and you're back to trying to hustle.
Yep.
That's not what I think we all are after. We're after connection. So now you print for me. That's at the end of the day, but you're my friend and we go out to dinner and we get to collaborate together, and I think that's really what people are after.
Yeah.
And so why highlight your story is because you're incorporating all those things and you've got a deep root system.
Yeah.
It's just a reminder to people that there are no shortcuts and the journey is worth it. The work is worth it. Meeting people and saying yes to the thing. And just getting in a car and drifting and having no idea where it's going to go. With Dan Black, Dan, we said last week, it's like just standing in front of a blank canvas and having no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I love that whole idea of just getting in a car. But it's an encouragement. Like the process is worth it. The work is worth it. And to be very honest, the more successful you are, it honestly gets harder.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like with every chapter, you learn more, you take on more, you keep growing.
Yeah.
And to your point, you just realize that uncomfortable ownership is what turns into be your role in whatever you're creating eventually. And you gotta love it, man.
Yeah.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
You gotta be passionate about it. And so for those out there that are passionate about their art and their music or their business, lean into it and enjoy the uncomfortable times, be honest, raise people with long-term intention.
Yeah.
And that's like the beauty in all of this, is to feed families, to create, to be honest, and for us to burn a tire.
That's right. That's exactly right. And for everybody, it's just can be anything. And that's the whole point, is like thinking differently, saying yes to the challenge. It's a very, very beautiful thing, man. And to watch you do it and to be able to participate in some way with you is really fun. I look forward to working with you more. If you have never heard of drifting, all you have to do is Google Nate Hamilton, YouTube Nate Hamilton, and not only are you going to see some really cool, intense car stuff, but you're going to meet an even better person. So, and then tell me a little bit about, just in closing, how do they find you? How do they work with you?
Yeah, I mean, so 144racing.com is our main website. That'll kind of guide you through everything, whether it be graphic design, screen print, embroidery, myself, our racing division. But yeah, just like Nate Hamilton on socials, Nate Hamilton 144 generally is how you can find us.
Yeah.
And we're out there, man. You'll find us.
Please check them out. Please work with them. If you're even looking to make any kind of merch or any kind of design work, I just can't promote them more. So thanks. I hope that you liked what you heard today. I hope it was inspiring again and challenging. Look out, we're going to be back again with another